Where am I?
Not another step.
Princess Luna! I don't understand. Where are we? Why did you and Celestia disappear?
Did you really expect me to sit idly by while they all basked in your precious light?
Precious light?
There can only be one princess in Equestria, and that princess will be me!
Banished to the moon! You'll give us no choice but to send you back there if you don't stop!
Luna, I will not fight you! You must lower the moon! It is your duty! Luna, I am Nightmare Moon! I have but one royal duty now, to destroy you! And where do you think you're going?
No. Why would Luna do this? Why now? You're all right. You're all right! Princess Celestia?
Oh, dear sister, I am sorry, but you have given me no choice but to use these.
Are those the elements of harmony? But that's how they looked in the past. This is the night you banished her.